Thank you very much. Yeah, sorry. Thank you very much for attending. I'm sorry, I'm not speaking German. I will try to learn. So let me explain a little bit about Landi. Landi is a group working in the energy transition. So what we do, we provide technology for the energy transition, as you will see, along the full value chain. The company has been founded in 1954 in the so-called Motor Valley in Italy, so in the north part of Italy, where gas was used and discovered by NEI. And the first activity of the company was making system for the natural gas mobility. Then along the time, the company has grown a lot. I joined the company in 2017 to lead a restructuring and a transformation of the company. Today, we are active in two main businesses. Automotive, with what we call the green transportation, where we provide a technical solution, especially pressure regulator system and injection system for hydrogen and natural gas mobility. And then infrastructure, where we provide a clean tech solution, means full compression solution for hydrogen, biomethane, and natural gas from post-generation to refueling station. So we cover the full value chain. Infrastructure is a business. We set it up, as a matter of fact, in 2018 through a merger between a company owned by Landi and an American company. And it has grown in an impressive way. We went from 40 million to 90 million revenues. We will go to more than 100 million this year. So we invest a lot in technology, and we are listed on the Italian Stock Exchange. Today, this year, we expect to get to around 300 million revenues, of which 1/3 by the infrastructure and 2/3 by the automotive. And today, we are, as a matter of fact, thanks to some acquisition we completed last year and a capital increase that we have completed this summer, we are market leader in the system for pressure regulation and management on the heavy duty side for gas and hydrogen. And we are really the global leader in the compressor solution for alternative compressor, means from 50 to 500 kilowatt in terms of power. For biomethane, we call it renewable natural gas, hydrogen and natural gas. And thanks to the acquisition and the current shareholder base, I would say that Landi Group is a strategic platform to even grow from internal growth, but also acquisition in those two fields, where there are a lot of small companies with a good technology that can be acquired and put inside our group. So I like this slide because it shows clearly what we do. So we provide compressor solutions that are needed every time there is a production of biomethane or hydrogen. Because when you produce biomethane and hydrogen, what happened is that this gas came out from the upgrading system in the case of biomethane, or the electrolyzers or steam reforming with carbon capture in the case of hydrogen, at a very low pressure. So you need to compress it for transportation, for both grid injection, so inject into the grid. Otherwise, you transport hydrogen and biomethane through virtual pipeline, and then you need to compress to 250 or 300 bar in the case of natural gas, and 700 to 800 bar in the case of hydrogen. So you need compressor solution. And we supply exactly those kinds of solutions. Then along the value chain, there are industrial applications, there are rebar situations, and they need compressor, and we supply those kinds of compressors. And then, of course, there is the infrastructure, so distribution. And we supply compressor for distribution. To give you some figures, when we did the merger of the two companies, 90% of our revenue came from compressor that we sold at the refilling station. Now, this year, 55% of the revenue will come from the refilling station. The rest will come from post-generation and industrial use. So a more diversified business model. And this market is going to boom with hydrogen because first of all, we need to build the infrastructure. Then it will come the mobility. And we will come back later, but also the Repower EU is investing a lot also in the biomethane production to take out the gas that currently we buy from Russia. Then we are specialized in all the components, specific components that are used on passenger car, light duty, medium and heavy duty that run on natural gas and hydrogen. Because then you need of course, you need to stop the gas. We don't do tank, but then you need a reduction system and injection system. It doesn't work. Okay, thank you. So this is more specifically what we do in the different segments. In the automotive, we supply components for both heavy duty application. So you will see we work, for example, in Germany with MAN and Scania. We are the main supplier of pressure regulator to Iveco and to all the Chinese, and we are in discussion with Cummins. At the same time, we are supplier of solution for the gas passenger car mobility. Still, I mean, even in Europe, for example, Renault with Dacia brand is investing a lot on LPG because, as a matter of fact, is a low-cost solution and it reduces CO2 emission compared to diesel or gasoline. But then the market that is booming on passenger cars is India. In India, they cannot approach electric mobility because they don't have electricity at home. And they have decided to invest on natural gas and biomethane as a solution for decarbonization. And then there is, let me say, our historical business that is the aftermarket. So we provide all over the world a solution kit to convert a vehicle that run on gasoline in a vehicle that run on gasoline and CNG and LPG. And every year, more than 2 million vehicles are converted all over the world. And this is a great business for us because it's a mature business. We don't need to do investment. We have more than 400 dealers all over the world. And I mean, we have done a calculation that there are roughly 5,000 workshops that use our component. And we have roughly 100 million per year of revenue with 35 to 40% gross margin. Is our backbone to invest on technology in the automotive sector. Then we have the infrastructure equipment. I think it's really an interesting business. We have grown a lot and we are investing to further grow. We acquired beginning of this year a small company in Italy that is one of the most specialized company in compressor for hydrogen, hydraulic and piston compressor. It's called Idomeccanica. It's a small company, but is the supplier of all the compressor, for example, to Atlas Copco. And we have already an installed base end of this year of 200 hydrogen compressor. That for this market is, I mean, is a low number compared to the 6,000 compressor we have installed, but hydrogen is new. And having this experience help us a lot to grow and is a very good reference for big players. Sorry. So those are the component we are specialized and the main customer we work with. As I said, we have pressure regulator, control unit for heavy duty that are different from gas to hydrogen, and we work with some of the main players worldwide. We are the sole supplier of regulator to Iveco. We have 80% of market share in Weichai. We are the sole supplier of pressure regulator for gas to Scania, and we have a very good presence in India. Then we are partner with the Ford in the US. What we do, we certify the engine for renewable natural gas, and then we do the transformation of the vehicle for the fleet that have vehicle running on natural gas. We are the main partner of SoCalGas, which is the most important utility in California. And with them, we are doing on setting up a hydrogen vehicle together with Ford. And then we have our passenger car. So all the components that are needed on our vehicles that run on gas that are very specific, that are engineering and manufacturing by us. Our manufacturing facility are based in Italy, in India, and in the US. So with this base, we can cover the different market and we can take the benefit from India of the very low cost. But let me say good quality, because as you can see in India, we work with the main OEMs such as Maruti, Tata, and then of course Europe, Renault, Stellantis. If we can move, thank you. Those are our, let me say, application on the clean tech solution. So we have different kind of application for different kind of use and technology. So renewable natural gas, we supply typically the full solution. The main characteristic has to be oil-free, because there has not to be contamination of oil with the renewable natural gas. Then we supply for the refining station. We have system for the gas treatment and management. Sometimes gas is wet, you need to make it dry, and those solutions can be used also on the hydrogen and are part of the end container that we supply to the customer with a very customized approach. And then of course, all the hydrogen solution, we have solution up to 800 bar. It's not easy to manage, but it's part of the experience of the company we have purchased. And now we are strongly reinforcing the technical team. We recently hired a new CTO from Baker Hughes because we strongly believe that this business is gonna boom. The other advantage, we have more than 6,000 installed compressor. So we are pushing to increase our revenue from service. Today, our revenue for service account for around 15% of the total revenue of this business unit. The expectation is to go to 25%, as let me say the best practice in this kind of market. As you can see, we have many strategic customers. We are very proud to be the supplier of all the compressor solutions that are used by Amazon in the US. Amazon decided to invest for the long haul on renewable natural gas. They did with the other shareholder we have in South and Czech, that is the company that is doing clean tech solution. And we have been chosen as the provider of those compressors. And it's a very customized product because Amazon has only one idea in mind. They wanted pure renewable natural gas, and they wanted every truck filled in 7 minutes, whatever it happened, whatever the pressure of the gas. So with our technical people, we started the solution and we have been chosen. We have already sold more than 50. We have a new order of 25 and a new order coming for next year. And it's as you know, a great reference all over the world. Then we work with Gas and Snam. Gas is the main operator of the grid in France. Snam, as you know, in Italy, Air Liquide, Eni, Total, so many customers worldwide. We strongly believe that natural gas and hydrogen will be a key solution to decarbonize mid and heavy duty transportation. We did a business plan beginning of this year with a consultancy, and we expect natural gas share. And when I speak about natural gas, I mean biomethane, natural gas, LNG, to come from 2% to 7% by 2025. I tell you something that has also surprised me. This year, as you know, the price of natural gas, especially in Europe, increased, let me say, in a crazy level. By the fact, our customer has slightly reduced their sales. So Iveco has reduced the sales by 10%. That is nothing if you see the price of the gas, because in the long term is an effective solution and is a solution today to decarbonize, and the fleet need to decarbonize. And we believe that this will be a solution in the long term. Of course, I'm a strong believer in hydrogen for the long haul transportation, but sometimes also for the mid haul. Even electric vehicle will take some market share. I think that in the future, on the mid and heavy duty, there will be different kind of technology coexisting. But I mean, we are in touch with all the OEM. And even if you look recently at what the CEO of BMW has declared, they are starting to invest also in SUV on hydrogen, because electric vehicle has some trouble with the battery, what to do with the battery after, and because of the grid. There was a very interesting article those days on Bloomberg. They have made a calculation. An important station in North Europe that today run only on gasoline, with all the vehicles, heavy duty and mid duty and passenger car running on electric, those stations need per week the same energy of a stadium. And that's a problem. It's not a problem for only for the vehicle, it's a problem for the grid. So there will be different solutions depending on the application. If you can move to the next. Thank you. So again, in the short term, especially biomethane, you have a reduction of 20% compared to diesel in terms of, and the cost once the situation will be stabilized, will be convenient. Of course, in the long term, we believe that for city distribution, short to medium term delivery, bus, electric can be a solution. But we think that once hydrogen technology will be stabilized, both fuel cell electric vehicle as well as combustion engine with hydrogen will be the real solution. Also, hydrogen for combustion engine. You know, BMW did this study 15 years ago. The technology was not mature. But today, what all the OEM are telling us is that they need to use the engine they have, this technology. They have factory. They cannot close the factory tomorrow. They need to find a way to not lose all the capex they have done. So they are working, especially with the direct injection, also to use powertrain with hydrogen as a fuel. And the advantage for us is that all vehicles that run with hydrogen need a pressure regulation system. And we are honestly recognized as the leader worldwide. We have 60% of market share. Today, in a small market, but in the future, if this market will grow as we expect, it's going to be a huge advantage for our company. If you can move. Those are some data, and all are public data, about the role of biomethane, hydrogen, and natural gas. And those data, I'm sorry, are not updated because when you look at hydrogen today, only in Europe we needed to find solution to take out 155 billion cubic meter of gas that we import from outside Russia or all over the world, because otherwise they can make the price they want. And REPowerEU specified that 50% of this will be 34 million tons of hydrogen that need to be produced and compressed, and 35 million tons of biomethane. That means 4,000 new plants within 2030. In the US, the Inflation Act provides 700 billion investment from now to 2030 on hydrogen, electrification, and other form of, let's say, renewable energy. 50% will go on hydrogen. So there are huge investments going in this direction. Moreover, on the filling station, we expect 3,000 filling stations to be built within 2025 and 10,000 within 2030. But also on the CNG, still there are markets in Europe, but not only, also in India, Latin America, and the US, where still there are investment. And all those markets are very attractive for us because are opportunity for us to continue to expand our business. So those are some of the countries outside of Europe that you know that are investing heavily on hydrogen, natural gas, and biomethane. So from US, and we spoke about that. China has, the government has a plan to have 1 million fuel cell electric vehicle on the road by 2030. And they are building refilling station. And they need European technology because they don't have. So that's, even if it's not an easy market, it's a big opportunity for us. In India, we are present. We have a joint venture that is not consolidated in our figures with the most important supplier of Maruti Suzuki. I give you some figures of this joint venture. We did 2.5 million euro in 2019. We did 25 million euro last year. August this year, we reached 35 million euro with a double-digit EBITDA because margins are higher in India because the cost is very, very low. And this market is going to boom in the future. And we are studying a joint venture with a local player to build a refilling station in India, because exporting from Europe to India refilling station is almost impossible in terms of price, and because the government is pushing on localizing the technology. If you can move, thank you. So this is what is going to happen in Europe, where again there are going to be big investment in biomethane and a big investment on hydrogen. Okay. So going to our strategy. So we have different pillars to support our growth and our value creation for the shareholders. Light duty, we want to consolidate our market position. It's a business with a lower margin compared to heavy duty and clean tech solution, but we make volume. We have opportunities to improve our operational margin. Together with the capital increase, the entry of Tambur Investment Partner, we have strongly reinforced the management team. So we have hired a new CEO, we have hired a new CFO, we have hired a new head of business development, and they will help a lot. Myself, we were a small company and everything was on my shoulder to improve on the operational side. And so improving few point on the gross margin means increasing cash generation. We strongly believe that on the mid and heavy duty side, there could be opportunity to multiply by 4 our revenue within 2025, because the market is going to grow. We have the leadership position, so when the market grows, we grow in terms of sales. And then on the clean tech solution, we already have 30% market share. Today, probably we have more than 20% on hydrogen, but we predict much more competition. So we predict to get to 20%. But again, the market for the infrastructure is going to boom. And the advantage is that the infrastructure is now. And on hydrogen in the infrastructure, we are making money now. So we are sustaining the investment on the revenue and the EBITDA that we are generating. If we can move. So those are the main strategy in our business plan to 2025. So growing in the hydrogen compression market and reinforcing the business of serving as spare part. We are starting to enter into the compression of CO2. I think there will be big investment on the carbon capture. I believe that hydrogen will be produced through electrolyzer, but also blue hydrogen is a key for the future. That means carbon capture and and CO2 need to be compressed, and that's an opportunity, and our technology fit. So we expect on the clean tech solution to go to around 170, 180 million revenue, with an EBITDA that now is around 8 to 9% to go to around 13%. Let me say, is in line with the best practice on the market. On the heavy duty, we have purchased last year a company with a strong specialization called Emittenten. We are integrating. From the integration, we will have on a year basis synergy for around 7 million, because I mean the two companies are closer. We are shutting down one factory. We are keeping all the technical guy, but all the rest will be managed by Landi Renzo. And we want to increase our penetration in India and Chinese market that are going to grow a lot. And we are starting to expand our business model in the US. Passenger car, as I said, our focus will be on margin and efficiency. Then strengthening the management team that we are already doing, also again, thanks to the new shareholder we have. Some, I think, important enable for this, let me say, transformation. The acquisition that we did. So we both Marathon and Hidromeccanica, two, let me say, small company based in Emilia-Romagna, close to us, but with strong technology. And so that we, as a matter of fact, those investment means investing on the technology. The capital increase and the new shareholder is called Ithaca Equity Fund, but as a matter of fact, is part of Tamburi. And Tamburi has a history of success on industrial company in Italy, and they are long-term investors. And we complete this capital increase of 60 million. So only 34 million were subscribed by Ithaca. The rest was subscribed by the market. And we complete in July and August, and was not the best time to do a capital increase, as you can imagine. And we have a new board of directors with also people from the fund that will help in this transformation journey. So those are, let's say, the main message I want to give you. And now, please, all the questions you have. I know it's not, we say, an easy business case, but I think we have cash generating business, innovation, the market is growing, the company has solidity. So there are all the ingredients to be a success story.
Number one, how do you see the LNG hybrids? LNG prices go up, the hybrid model with the fuel combustion and LNG, as the LNG prices are also skyrocketing. What's your vision to that? Is that going to reduce your sales, and is there going to be still demand for it as before? That's number one. And number two, geopolitically, China is becoming an issue for the West, kind of thing, and is that going to affect you? And also China being now also less, maybe having less appetite for buying from a foreigner as well, like Western. That would be my two questions.
Okay, so you know, LNG price is very different worldwide. In China, what is happening? I had a call this morning with our management team in China. The LNG price is dropping.
Cheaper than the combustion gas price?
Is going down. There has been a curve like this, and now it's doing like this. So the forecast is that the next year will go down, even if we are in winter, and in winter typically it goes up. For what concern geopolitical tension, we have a company in China, a Chinese company led by Chinese people, because you cannot think to do business with Chinese not being Chinese. We are ready eventually to localize. And, you know, we have experience. We have a company all over the world. And when we go in one place, we respect the local tradition and the local culture. Even in India, doing business in India is even more difficult than doing business in China, I can guarantee you. But we have the right Indian partner. So we have been doing business in India for more than 10 years without any problems. And from my experience, you know, Chinese, they know when they need the technology. And what we do is very specific. Pressure regulation system is a niche. So it's not easy even for big company to invest in a niche. Because the first question is why Bosch is not doing the pressure regulator? Because it's a niche, you need to have a lot of experience. So they prefer to have the partner that give them the pressure regulator and then they set the system. That is what is happening with the big tier one on the hydrogen. So big tier one like Bosch, like Magna, Faurecia, they are coming to company like us that we are specialized in one niche and they say, okay, I need this part of the system. And we don't want to compete with them as a system supplier, they are too big. We want to be recognized as the specialists in this. Yeah.
It's a bit not show any financial, because my question would be, the profits of your business are still enough to cover possible losses for your future business and the capital increase of 60 million.
Yeah.
Is it enough for all your investments you expect in your financial plan 2025?
Absolutely, yes. We have suffered a lot by the COVID. Infrastructure business is a cash generating business. Of course, sometimes, you know, this year, for example, completing the job is not easy because of the scarcity of material, but it's a question of timing. It's 3 months time, but it's net working capital. It's not fixed capital. And because of the acquisition that we have done, we forecast to go to around 450, 500 million by 2025 from 300 today. So it's a growth, but if you look at the market, it's absolutely less than the market. And we have investing in technology buying those companies. So today our CapEx is around 12 to 15 million. That is not so big because we have already purchased the technology. So now it's a question of making this technology going better. And then in 2019, we were much more efficient and we had net working capital on revenue at about 12%. We went because of this supply chain constraint to 20. Our goal is to go back on 12. And I mean, the first person I want to hire was a COO to do this. And it's the same guy that was consultant with me in 2019. So we did the investment. Now is a question of doing the right strategic choice on the product and go to the market and make the machine working better.
Can we find your industrial plan on the homepage?
Sorry?
The industrial plan, is it published on your homepage?
Sorry, I don't understand.
The plan is published on your homepage. Can we find your industrial
On the investor page.
plan?
Yes, but otherwise, I mean, I can give you my business card. You can send me an email, and I can send you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.